Welcome to StrokeOT. We are a Connecticut nonprofit organization consisting of volunteer health professionals as well as community volunteers that are dedicated to providing the long-term support for community stroke and brain injury survivors. We understand that your recovery may occur throughout a lifetime, but only if your brain and your body is being challenged. And that's why we're here making videos as well as offering free programming. If you'd like to learn more, visit StrokeOT.org. At this point, we'll be working on some trunk, pelvis, and lower body stretches for stroke survivors, particularly those who have hemiparesis, that's partial paralysis of one arm and one leg. So let's get started. What I'd like you to do is you're going to scoot right up to the front of your chair, put your feet shoulder width apart, sitting up nice and tall, and we're going to work on some pelvic tilts. And again, the pelvis is so important because it obviously controls so much of our upper body as well as our lower body as far as our coordination. So I'd like you to rock your pelvis forward, stick your belly button out, your chest out. Good. And then rock your pelvis down and back. Okay? Imagine your pelvis is like a bowl and your bowl is now rocking back and then it's rocking forward. We're going to do that 8 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful, up real tall. Next, we're working on lateral weight shifts, and what that means is you're just shifting your weight onto one hip and picking up the other hip. I want you to really hold your stomach muscles in tight and imagine you're sticking a stack of $20 bills under your hip. So you're rocking onto the left hip and then to the right hip. Again, you're trying to do this without holding on, using your hands, and you're trying to make sure you're up real tall, shoulders back, stomach muscles in tight. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. Next, we're working on a little bit of a lateral trunk flexion. So you're going to sit up real tall again, feet shoulder width apart, shoulders back, and you're pretending you're reaching down towards the floor to pick something up on your right side, and then down towards the floor to pick up something on your left side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't want to be bending forward with this, right to the side, as if you're trying to pick up something that fell sort of behind your heel. And 8. Good. Very good. Next, we want to work on some trunk rotation. So with trunk rotation, what I'd like you to do is you're going to try to cross your right leg over your left leg or right ankle over left ankle. Whatever works best for you. If you can clasp your hand, and now you're going to rotate and look over your right shoulder as far back as you can go. Good. And hold. And then you're coming, uncrossing it. Put your left leg over your left knee over right knee, or left ankle over right ankle. Clasp your hands and then rotating over to the left. And look as far back as you can go. Beautiful, excellent, and uncross. Now you're going to put these 3 movements together: anterior, posterior pelvic tilts, lateral weight shifts, and trunk rotation. All those 3 movements together equal scooting. So what I'd like you to do is, with your hands on your lap or even clasped, you're going to work on scooting one hip at a time to the back of the chair. and then one hip at a time up to the front of the chair. We're going to do that 8 times. Making sure you're really working those stomach muscles and hip muscles and that the shoulders are back. Good. At this point, we're now up at the front of our chair and we want to stretch out a muscle called your rectus femoris. That's a muscle in the front of your hip here, and it tends to get tight when we do a lot of sitting. So you're going to rotate to the side in your chair, put one leg back and one leg forward. So your front leg should be in the back, behind you, and the back leg should be in front of you, and you're arching your back to stretch out the front of this right hip, which is the rectus femoris. Good. And we're going to rotate in the opposite direction. Again, putting your front leg back and the back leg in front, and stretching out the other hip. If you want to arch your back, it can get a little bit more of a stretch. Good. Okay, at this point, the next thing is you're going to take your affected hand and try to hook your unaffected hand underneath your right leg, and you're trying to raise your leg up towards, so your knee works up towards your chest, and hold that stretch. Good. Keep on breathing. And then back down. We'll do the same thing with the other. Bring it all the way up towards your chest. Good. Good. Hold that stretch. Beautiful. Okay. Next is our hamstring stretch. So if you could straighten your legs out in front of you. So straighten your knees out as much as you can. Sit up at the front of your chair. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And then reach down towards your toes as you exhale. And as you're reaching down there and hanging out for a while, slowly breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth slowly. And hold that stretch. Very good. And back up again. Okay. And now we're working our way down towards our ankles. Again, many of you may be wearing a brace on your affected leg, or something that doesn't allow you to bend your ankle. So what I'd like you to do is, you can obviously take the brace off if you'd like to focus on this, but if not, you'll just be using your other leg if need be. So just you're going to point your toes down towards the floor, and then bring your toes up towards your nose, okay? This is toe and foot. And then up towards your nose, down towards the floor, up towards your nose, 5, down towards the floor, 6, up towards your nose, 7, down towards the floor, towards your nose, 8. Good. And the last one is a windshield wiper stretch. So that's just imagining your feet are a windshield wiper, and you're just rotating your feet side to side, trying not to move from the hips or the knees, trying to make it just so your ankles are doing the work. Okay. 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. Okay, so you just finished stretches for the pelvis, hip, and legs.